Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookham here, and today we continue with a new set of interviews with the Golden Eagle Tom Platz. And in today's video, Tom Platz remembers Bill Pearl. Tom talks about his several meetings with Bill Pearl, the kind of man Bill Pearl was, how he conducted himself, the impact that Bill had on Tom and the people around him, and what he also learnt from Bill Pearl. As Tom said after our talk, and he wanted me to open this video quoting him directly. Quote, thinking more about Bill Pearl today, he did not believe in trash talking, never spoke negative of people, only positive. A great teacher and role model. I just told a student of mine that Bill did not merely do, he just was a champion. Furthermore, there is a little bit of Bill in all of us, a real Mr. America. End quote. Without further delay, here is Tom Platz on Bill Pearl.
Drinking a long coffee today. Most Americans have no idea what a long coffee is, I drink a little espresso. But being in Europe, it's like, we have a different system, a different idea of culture,
Absolutely. Do you want to talk about Bill first?
Still there?
Yeah.
I'm losing you. Okay.
Do you want to start talking about
Absolutely.
Bill?
Yes.
Okay. So firstly,
please,
thank you again, Tom, for joining me today in another interview, another exchange. We're really enjoying these
episode.
And
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it's sad to know that our friend Bill Pearl has passed. As I did a tribute on him recently, the way it started with me was a few years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago. I got in touch with him and I said that I was a fan. I've been reading his books and that I considered him the Pearl of the Golden Era, the true Pearl of the Golden Era. And he was very touched by that, and our friendship began like that. But Tom, how do you feel about Bill Pearl's passing? What do you want to say about Bill Pearl?
All the guys that I grew up with or was taught by, they're either 10 years older than me or 20 years older than me. So all of the guys I was around during the 80s and 70s, they're like a little older. So now, like Zane is old, Bill Pearl was 91. Ed Corney passed away, and it sort of disturbs me. Honestly, I'm like, wow, I guess I'm next in line. About coming up. Not to be gruesome, but hey, I make a joke out of it, okay, because I have to. Otherwise, it'd be too overwhelming to think, oh my God. We all die. We all die, though. That's a fact. And we all live, too. That's another fact. And I don't think enough people live enough. They just do what they're supposed to do or get by or don't believe, and that's where I come from. And I try to wring all of the water drops out of the towel, so to speak, in reference to life. But Bill Pearl, God, I made some notes here this morning before we called it. In 1977, at my second Mr. America contest, held in Santa Monica, California, Bill Pearl guest posed, and Arnold and Robbie Robinson guest posed. And I knew who Robbie was from the magazines, but I didn't know. I was only 19, 20, so I didn't know who Bill Pearl was. And we didn't have Google back then. I just thought, man, this guy's a monster kind of a guy. And I think Bill Pearl was Mr. Universe before he won the universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way he carried himself. Reg Park had the same thing. It's like, wow, these guys are men's men. They have a way of moving and a way of talking where it's like, hey, this is what we're going to do, gentlemen. They're very leaders, if you will. So I always admired Bill for that. And I remember seeing him guest pose, and I was like, wow. I didn't have Google back then, so I couldn't Google him in 1977. So I had to ask Eddie Giuliani and Joe Gold, please tell me about his career. I looked at some of the old magazines which they had. I think it was 45 years ago that he guest posed in 1977. Wow, amazing how the years pass by. Because I know people that are 25 and 27, and I'm like, oh my God, they, to them 2 weeks is a long time. To us, well, I'm not sure how old you're in your 50s, right?
Yeah, I'm in my mid-40s right now.
Oh, okay, you're young. You're a young guy, but to me, as a 67-year-old guy, 2 weeks is nothing. I mean, 10 years, 20 years, I still have shoes I haven't worn yet that I bought at the mall. Okay, it's funny how it varies, but I was 20 years old or 19 years old when I won the Mr. Michigan, so I was very early 20s when I met Bill Pearl for the first time, and I was in awe. I was like, that's the kind of bodybuilder I want to be, the kind of assured, confident, poised, a gentleman, knows how to speak, has a vocabulary, is educated. I'm like, wears a suit coat. I'm like, wow, that's the guy. That's it. That's what I'm gonna follow. And it's changed since then and become more lax. But that was my initial introduction. And so I won the universe, and I said to Bill Reynolds, he was writing about me then in Weider's office. He was a writer and an editor. And I think he was involved, chiefest. I don't know what he was, but Bill was worked for Weider and did a lot of things for Weider. Bill Reynolds, and I said, Bill, I want to go to Europe. He goes, you want to go to Europe? Give me a second. We had a phone call, and he says, you're all set. You're gonna go to Belgium, and you're gonna go to Belgium with Bill Pearl and Ray Menser and Rachel McLeish. Really? Wow, cool. When am I gonna go? He goes, well, here's the fee they agreed to. Great, wonderful. It was more money I ever made in my life. I'm like, let's go. And so I went to Europe, and I met Bill again. Really met Bill this time. Met Judy, his wife. Judy was great, very much of a support system. And Ray Menser, and then Rachel McLeish, the heartthrob. It's like I always loved her very, very much. Never got together with her, but I always thought, wow, what a girl. Anyhow, to sort of stop some rumors there. But
fair enough.
Gotta be careful now. We're on live,
Yeah.
I'm looking at my notes, trying to think that's apropos. I remember the promoter of the event. Nice guy, wonderful family. Without mentioning names, Bill, he said, "Do you want the money now? I'm going to pay you now in cash." I'm like, "Well," Bill goes, "Yes, we'll take the money now." He said, "Tom, whenever somebody offers you money, take it then now. Put it in the safety deposit box and then do your exhibition." I'm like, "Yes, sir." Okay, so he was very protective of. I said was Zane the same way, but that some promoters were sort of like, "Oh, I don't have the money right now. I'll send it to you," But he was like, "When somebody asks you that if you want the money now, yes, I do." He was very adamant about that, and I still remember that day. I'm like, "Wow, okay." Again, I'm 19, 20 years old, going, "Oh, okay." And it was more money I ever had in my life. I mean, $3,000 or $4,000 back then was wow, holy smokes.
Wow.
So it's like, but Bill was that guy. And I remember he was a vegetarian at that time. I think early in his career he wasn't. You could correct me on that if I understand.
Yes.
And I was starving. I didn't know how to eat because I was busy, interviews, the show coming up. And he made some cheese sandwiches. I'm like, "Great, I'll take one, please. Thank you so much." Okay, now I can guest pose. Okay, but he had those in his bag, and he made an extra one or two for me, or Judy did, as I recall, and that was very important to me. But as I say, Bill Pearl was a Mr. Universe before he ever competed. Okay, and that's what I'm getting at. Most guys nowadays, most girls nowadays, they think they have to win the title to be all that. No. The title doesn't make the man or the woman. The man or woman makes the title.
Yeah.
Okay, and I learned that from Bill. Like, that's the guy. I want to be like somebody and emulate somebody. I want to be like that, self-assured, confident, poised. His hair combed nice and a suit coat, or even relaxed in a sweatsuit. He was like, he was poised. He was like confident. He's like, okay, here's what we're going to do, gentlemen. He was like, Mission Impossible, Peter Lupus. Remember that? Okay, he was like that guy. Like, wow. I'm like, I'm in the right business as a teenager or early 20-year-old. Continuing, I think Bill represented and represents all the things that are good about bodybuilding. Okay, and there's so many a wholesomeness, like American or European. This is the way it is. It's like, wow, you know, it wasn't dark, but it's the mind, the body, the spirit, the whole thing about being human and being Mr. Universe. That was it. And I think nowadays most young guys and young women forget about that. We forget about the contest is merely a mirror to who we are, you know, and they're going to vote for the Mr. America or the Miss Universe or the Miss Olympia that they see, and they already are Mr. or Miss Olympia or Mr. or Miss Universe before the event, and I think you understand what I mean. The wholesomeness, the health, which is a word most bodybuilders, I don't care about health. Get big, get huge, get freaky, get genetic mutation. Oh my God, you know, I like that. Believe me, I'm a funny car driver in terms of my body. I like performance, but I think we went too far, and I think Bill Pearl, as I said, represented all that's good about bodybuilding, and I wanted to get into the business because of him, and many others too. But he was that guy then for me. My first critique, he became the head judge of the IFBB, and I forget where I was posing, Louisiana or something. And he goes, Tom, your facial expressions are terrible. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
You have this grimace. You look like you're sort of like trying to be good or asking the judges if you like, do you like me? And I go, At first I'm like, you know, you're sort of like, what is this guy telling me? You know, I mean,
yeah.
Then I digest it. I go, okay, so I have to have a routine, a posing routine, and interject my personality into it, and develop a storyline with my movement pattern. Bill was responsible initially for that, and of course Joe Weider was like, Tom, can you get your hair blonde again like it was during the summer? I'm like, he was trying to recreate a Dave Draper, not another Dave Draper. I was the blonde guy in his mind. And I did other black guys, another brunette guy. I guess brunette guys. They call guys brunette. I don't know. But Bill was the head of the IFBB, and he was very clear on that. He goes, you can't do this. You can't look and present yourself with expressions like that. Okay? So he was a lot like John Grimmick, you know, like, you're good, but you're sort of messing up here. You know, this is what you got to do better. Okay, yes, sir. And I was, you know, I was a kid, and I was very respectful of everyone, especially a guy like Bill Pearl or John Grimmick, so to speak. But this is about Bill. When Bill Pearl had some gyms, he was doing Bill Pearl's gyms for a while in the late 70s, and he would call me and say, Tom, can you make a personal appearance for me? It's 45 minutes away, and Newport Beach, somewhere around there. Goes, yeah, sure. He goes, I'll pay you this much. I want you to get in the car right now. I'm like, okay, I can do it. You know, he was always thinking about me and putting me in the position to be the new star, the new guy, the new breed, the new youth coming up. And I appreciated that. You know, I was always there for, especially it was work. You know, it's like being an actor. Going, you want to do a job in a movie? Yeah, sort of. Okay, you know, we'll pay you tons of money. Okay, fine, I'll do it. You know, and so I remember driving down to, I think it was Costa Mesa, and did Bill Pearl's gym, and did a number of those appearances, grand openings for him. And I can vividly remember him calling me and asking me those questions. One thing he said to me, and maybe I shouldn't say this, with all respect, Judy, if you ever listen to this, Bill Pearl said to me, Tom, every time I got divorced, I won another universe. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
I was like, holy smokes, really? You know, so I thought about that every time I got divorced. I'm like, I guess it's time to win another big show, you know. And I never, you know, the stupid stuff that we say as men and jargon and, you know, and locker room talk. I remember this stuff, and it affected me greatly, you know, if I may share that. But I'm saddened by Bill Pearl leaving us, or at least leaving us for the moment. You know, and many people who are dying that I know, and again, 10 or 20 years older than me. I'm the kid. I was always the kid of the what you call golden era, I guess. I was the little kid. So now all the golden era guys are, you know, getting older, and I'm like, I'm still a kid at 67. So when I get around my peers, I'm like, damn, you're old, you know. And that's a joke, but you know, Bill Pearl left an impact on me as a young man, as a young bodybuilder that I'll never forget. And I pursued the business because of Bill, because he represented what I wanted to be and be like. I hope modern day bodybuilders have those sort of guys. I hope. I'm not a modern day bodybuilder competing for Mr. Olympia, but I needed a mentor figure back then. I had many mentor figures, and Bill Pearl was one of the initial guys that sort of got in front of me, as well as Reg Park and Arnold and Corey and Zane, Robbie, and all the guys. But Bill had an impact on me that I think launched me into the profession initially. Okay, so it's a sad thing, but we all do pass on. It startles me. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm like, oh God, somebody else passed away. But Bill was 91. He had wow, 91. I hope I can make 91. You know, it's a long time. But he certainly dedicated himself to the sport. I remember talking to him when he was like 75 or 80. He's like, Tom, I can't stop training. I'm still training at 4:30 every morning, and that's it. I'm going to train forever, and I can't stop. I'm like, are you still? I asked him. I said, are you still training, Bill? At that time in the morning? He goes, yep, absolutely. This is what I do. You know, and Chris Dickerson spoke very highly of him, and he would go to work with Bill before every Olympia, and when Chris was competing, and you know, Chris Dickerson carried himself the same way. Like, this guy is he's not just a competitor, not just a bodybuilder, but a man. You know, a value system and an understanding about his existence. And those are always the people I sort of moved closer to. Bill started that for me. I mean, Arnold was the girls and all, you know, and all that. Bill was like the executive going, okay, now here's what we're going to do, gentlemen. And so I miss him. I miss him, and you know, all condolences to Judy and the family. The impact he made on all of us, you know, myself, was enormous, and you know, it's one of the greatest things I can remember about the sport is Bill Pearl, and some things he said to me or didn't say to me, but you know, but he thought about it. I could see in his eye. Very, very much educated me to be a professional bodybuilder. Before there was a pro card, there were no pro cards back then. You had to win the universe, and then you came eligible for the Olympia. Done. You know. Yeah. But you know, Bill was that guy, and I guess that's all I have to say. Relating to this, some of the comments I read about the work we do. I do read some of the comments. I don't read every single comment, and I appreciate the haters and the disbelievers as much as I appreciate positives. Okay, guys, women, ladies, I do. But someone made a comment to me which really sort of floored me a little bit. They go, Tom, it's nice that you're getting in shape again and you're big and powerful again at your old age of 67. But aren't you sort of pushing the envelope, and you're still trying to prove yourself? And I thought to myself, what an intelligent, intuitive sort of comment, you know, really like intellectual. And I said, and I thought to myself, I'm not trying to prove myself. I don't have anything left to prove. Okay, if I may say that in a non-egotistical way. But the process I love. I love going to the gym, the sets and the reps and the music of training and even the music on. Oh, I like that. I'm addicted to that. And I don't think I'll ever stop training like Bill told me, like Bill Pearl said. I don't think I'll ever stop. And I never understood what he was meaning. I'm like, now I get it. I understand what Bill meant. You want to train. You want to do it. You want to have a back day, a chest day, an arm day, a leg day. You want to have a little bit, fear of it and conquer it. Wow, what a great thing! What a great opportunity we have, with bodybuilding and with going to the gym. I mean, I don't think people realize that because they take it for granted. Oh, the gym, okay, whatever it is. But I mean, we're very fortunate, and I'm very grateful, as I always say. And thankful to God and to my creator. And if it wasn't for bodybuilding and the gym, it'd be pretty empty. But the gym is not only the gym, it makes life much more clearer and sharper edges everywhere around all the edges. And because of the gym, I understand life and the meaning of my existence. Okay. And now, as I said many times in our discussions, it's time to give back. And it's time to communicate to the younger generation and teach. And I'm not looking to move into position anymore as a player. In fact, I don't even want to do interviews anymore. But you're different. I want to. He's the guy I want to do an interview with. He's that guy. So I appreciate you taking the time to work with me and listen to my old man stuff, because it's.
I think it's very relevant. Thank you. Again, for your kind words, Tom. Just give me a second. I've got to turn the light on.
Okay.
And tell my kids to not be so loud. Just 1 second.
I can hear them.
I can.
Okay.
Right. Let me just fix also the microphone.
Really.
Okay.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention to you before we were recording.
Yeah.
One of the things that I saw that somebody did, I mentioned female singers and female artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And mentioned Whitney Houston being like, the angels and perfect pitch and all that stuff. They did a little quick video of me on YouTube, and I got a kick out of it. It really startled me. I'm like going to sleep one night going, okay, let's look at some stuff. I'm in bed with my cell phone going, and I clicked on something I saw. It was like Whitney Houston belting out a song. And just boom, her voice. And they had a picture of me and talked about my belief system and how he want to affect the girls. And if you really want something bad, if you really want to do. I'm like, I got to tell you, whoever did that out there in the land of the internet, thank you. I mean, I had tears in my eyes going, that's it. That kind of female performer is exactly what I wanted to do in bodybuilding. And thank you for recognizing that and listening to a lot of our interviews, because people take what you do and what we do and they piece it together in different ways. Yeah. And it's so cathartic, meaningful to me. And I have to say thank you. Oh, I mean, it affects the fact you can affect people. Like, I mentioned earlier on in our conversations, money comes and goes, but the way you affect people lasts forever. And it's such a revelation to recognize that. And every day I'm like, that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. Not that I'm pushing it. Just it happens. And organically, it flows. And I go, that's my place in life, God. I understand now. I understand. Before, in the 80s, it was training to get where I am now. I mean, the training in the 80s, becoming that golden eagle character, in the magazines, and it was wonderful. I enjoyed it. It was very meaningful to me. But I think that was really the training to go to where I am now as a teacher. And I say that with, it's a much more meaningful, important position than to be just Mr. Olympia. I mean, I always wanted to be Mr. Olympia, and I had the life of Mr. Olympia ever since I lost the show. But being where I am now as a teacher is extremely meaningful on a daily and hourly basis to me. I mean, I find myself as being a teacher, even when I don't try. I'm trying to not talk to anybody. Somebody in Walmart will say, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, let me ask you a question. Okay. But in any event, thank you for all you do for us bodybuilders. I mean that. Can I call you Doc? Is that okay?
It's easy if you call me Carlos, Tom. Yeah, it is.
Doctor's Doc. Out of respect. I'll try, Dr. Carlos. Doc Carlos. Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
before we get into the interview, I just want to reflect on what you just said. Firstly, thank you for your kind words. I do this for the same reason that I think the message you were just trying to portray there about Bill,
yes,
and even about Rich Park.
Mm-hmm.
I've been myself very much affected more these days by John Park, because we have a very close relationship. He carries himself much like his father.
Doesn't he though?
You definitely feel his father's influence, the direction he gave his son, that obviously his son decided to adopt and mold it in his own way. I mean, John speaks with authority.
Mm-hmm.
John is a confident person. You can trust him. He's a real gentleman, like his father, like Bill Pearl. These men, as people call them, men's men, because, as you said, they're leaders, not by force, because you can force anybody and that's oppression, but by example. And by example, they lead. They don't have to brag about it.
No.
They simply inspire confidence by the way they are. This calm, confident character about themselves motivates and lifts everybody around them. They are controlled, organized, and confident men. And it's men like that are needed nowadays, like you said, in bodybuilding, in today's bodybuilding. I feel like most of them are like just, I don't know, they're athletes, but there's not a leader there. There's not a person that organizes them and, tells them, okay, this is how it should be done.
We really need
that class is lost, right? That
turn pro, you should go to school to learn all these things.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if Bill Pearl and Rich Park had it.
Yeah,
they probably had it from their fathers and from the life, but most bodybuilders, men and women, are like, am I good enough? Or I'll diet some more. Come on. I mean, I get it. You got to do the protocol, but God, you're so right on. Thank you for saying that.
The reason I'm saying this is because, like, by the way that I listen to yourself, to the greats of the past, the titans of the past, this is one thing that I find missing in today's generation of bodybuilders. And in response to what you're saying, not just about Bill, but about why I do this, is because I think that it's important to promote that side of bodybuilding too. You see Grimmick.
Yes, Grimmick. Oh, yeah.
Reeves, Park, Pearl. I mean, these guys are just men's men. Everywhere you walk, they come in and everyone just shut up and paid attention. They demanded that without, carrying a banner and screaming out their name. Just their presence alone demanded respect, and everybody would lend an ear because they were worth listening to. They were worth learning from. And I think this is why the passing of Bill is so impactful in the bodybuilding community, because in many respects, he's truly one of the last of the Mohicans from that era that really represented that class, that manliness, just everything, as you said, that bodybuilding should be, as it was before. It wasn't just about building a physique. It was about being the best.
Yes.
Best.
That's self. And,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to handle life here. It's going to take, being in control, but yet nobody's in control, but yet people understand how to handle problems and become opportunities after a while. That's what I learned from these guys. But you're so right. And of course, Arnold was a direct descendant of Reg Park. He looked at that guy and said, "Aha!" like we all did.
Exactly.
And I looked at Arnold, going, "Aha!" And see people like that we grew up with passing away. It's almost like, oh my God. I mean, it's sad and sort of very meaningful. And I guess the realization I keep coming to is people die. We all die.
Yeah.
And, but so many people have made and people don't know. They think bodybuilding is just winning the Olympia. They think bodybuilding is just being in good shape or having a good body and showing off. It's not about any of that.
No.
It's not even about the body and developing the muscles. It's about so many other things, which we're attesting to, and these gentlemen have really shown us how it goes.
Yes.
And I never forget that as long as I live.
Yeah. To me, I mean, I hate to say it this way, but I think it's a good representation of what I'm trying to say in the summary. There are many pro bodybuilders today.
Mm-hmm.
They're not pros like Grimmick, Reeves, Park, and Pearl. They were pros without the title. As you said, they were the universe before the universe.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it.
I tell a lot of the young guys I train a little bit and say, look, you have to believe and feel. You already are Mr. Universe. They're not going to vote for somebody that's not already the guy or the girl.
Yeah.
You already have to become that person in spirit and mind and body. And winning the show is a matter of, and also you get the title. It's not like you win the universe and become that. No. And the universe or the Olympia, you already are the guy or the girl. And I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm thinking about the young men and women listening to this going, well, how do I do that? Whew. That's a whole bunch of discussions,
Well, it is. And I'm glad you touched on that. If I can briefly kind of go on that tangent. I think that the issue is that when we look at men like Grimmick, Reeves, Park, and Pearl, most of these, except for Park, were Mr. Americas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. America back then wasn't just a bodybuilding competition. You had to have poise, things we've talked about, character. You had to have good skin, good hair, and good language skills, the ability to communicate and be a true representation of American manhood, of the perfect man, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. And I think that this has been lost in the Olympia and in, I guess, the Arnold Classic and things like that. Although, for example, I've just been speaking to the president of Mr. America. Mr. America is back, if you didn't know. And the competition, it's back.
I went one year when it sort of was starting to come back.
All right.
Who are you speaking with? Wayne?
Mark Torelli, I think his name is. And they've been running the show. He's been running the show, I think, since 2020, if I'm not mistaken, or 2019. I have to find out to be specific and correct. But the idea is that they are trying to bring that iconic competition back. And I'm only saying that because I think that is where the direction of bodybuilding should go if we want those values to be brought back and have not just an athlete, but a representation and a true ambassador to the sport that can communicate like somebody that everybody wants to aspire to, that has such an impact like these titans, like Bill Pearl. That's what's
wow. I could not say that better. Thank you for saying that on video. I mean, wow. Yes. I mean, and those young men and women who don't know what you're saying, you should know. Do the research. That's why we do what we do, because it's not just biceps and triceps and striations. It's so much more.
Yes.
But nobody understands what I mean when I say that, especially the younger community. You're so right. But I think those of us who are older and have been through all these experiences, I think we have a responsibility to pay it back. To say, let me tell you how it goes according to Bach or Beethoven or the old days, and it'll come back. I'm confident the values will come back. They don't go away.
Yeah.
True values of wholesomeness and goodness, not the dark stuff. People refer to bodybuilding as a dark sport. I'm like, wow, what has changed since 1970, you know? But I think we'll come back. People start realizing, hey, where else can I go? Where else can I see? What else can I feel? Not for us mentioning this and talking and propagating other thoughts with other people doing videos. It's gotta come back like fashion. Fashion comes back, you know?
Yes.
Okay? I think we're all repeating ourselves. It's just like Shakespeare did. It was all the same drama, the same things. There's no stories that are untold. It's all the same thing again and again and again and again. And here we go, values and understand. It comes back. And I just think nothing trumps love. Love is the major force. And most people don't understand the word love. But nothing is better than that. Nothing is more powerful than that. You have that instilled into what you do, into your life, and into your activities, into your sport, into your business. Nothing can conquer that. Nothing. What a superpower. Talk about superpowers. And nowadays, everybody looks at comic books and movies being done about superheroes. We have the component of being a superhero already. Yeah. We forgot. Okay. And we got to bring that back before we pass on. I think we will. I trust we will. Thank you.
I hope so. Thank you, Tom. Well, I guess I'd like to now start with the questions regarding my previous questions. If we're I guess done with talking about Bill, not that I necessarily want to stop, but
1 second, one intervention. Nowadays, it's popular to talk about male toxicity. Oh my God, feminism. Okay, we're messed up, to put it into acceptable words, and I think we can address that later. But that's our conversations and our comments. We're hitting on those modern day points.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that's something we can talk about all you like. I'm very much against what I call toxic femininity.
Yeah, that's not
toxic feminism. I'm all for empowering femininity and enhancing what is truly female, but then also seeing masculinity as a positive thing, not toxic. I think they both complement each other. There is a reason why both exist, just like there is sun and moon, heat and, I don't know, coolness, hot and cold. There's male and female, just like the Tao, black and white. There's a bit of both in each, if you understand the symbol of Tao. But they both have powers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But this is a whole philosophical discussion. We can go into that for hours if you like, and I'm happy to. If you want to go through it now, it's great with me. Otherwise, we can talk about it another time.
I think we better sort of save that, and please make a note of that.
We'll do.
It's the way God made us, if I may say so. And it worked back in the 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, and 70s. And I think women were told they're not good enough just to be a housewife, which started a woman, and which confused every guy.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy. Now, I've had great admiration of a powerful woman.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a CEO, maybe a CEO of a company, but yet a woman that's like Bill Pearl in spirit. Like, I like that woman. I like that man. That's anyhow. We'll get this. Save it for another show because I can go on and on and on about people I listen to, people I know. But you can go on forever. We could have this like a We can do many.
But you're right. I mean, if we would again sum it up, these men we've talked about, Grimmick, Reeves, Park, and Pearl, are great examples of positive masculinity.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
It's just exactly what it is, right? I think that's what the Mr. America and Miss America were back 50 years ago.
Undoubtedly.
Right? I mean, that's basically what they were. But yeah, I think we'll talk about this another time then.
So as we have heard from Tom Platz, Bill Pearl had a great impact on Tom and the golden era bodybuilders that would follow, as Bill was a true champion in every sense of the word. The way he conducted himself demanded respect without him asking for it, as he, like many of the silver era greats like Grimmick, Reeves and Park, were real men that everybody admired, as they were real leaders who led not by force but by example. These are the true titans on whose shoulders we stand on, and to whom we should be thankful for, and to whom Tom as well as I show our gratitude towards. It is because of these pioneers and their legacy that we enjoy bodybuilding and the fitness world of today. Rest in peace, Bill Pearl. We will miss you. I do hope you have enjoyed this interview with Tom Platz, so please give the video a like, subscribe, and I will continue to bring you more interviews with Tom Platz in the near future. That's it from me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. The Golden Eagle collection is now available at www.goldenerabookworm.com. Select from Upper Body Muscle Mass and Power or Tom's Classic Leg Training Manual, also known as the Bible of Leg Training, all available at www.goldenerabookworm.com. Online training is now available, including my new program, Novice to Classic, a program geared towards beginners and novices looking at developing a classic physique, as well as Classic Cut, geared at those who wish to lose weight and gain muscle fast. Details available at www.goldenerabookworm.com. Need a bodybuilding poster for your gym or office? Then check out Iron Man Magazine archive.smugmug.com for the highest quality posters on the planet. Scroll through the galleries of all the legends, including greats such as Arnold, Frank Zane, Sergio Oliva, Serge Nubret, Tom Platz, and Larry Scott, and much, much more, and select your poster now. As a natural bodybuilder, it is imperative to know your own testosterone levels, as they are a reflection of the anabolic environment created by your diet and training. I would highly recommend using the male hormone test kit from Let's Get Checked, and make sure you use my code GOLDEN30 for a 30% discount. Again, the advantage of checking yourself regularly is that you will know how well your body is anabolically primed to put on the much desired muscle you are working for. Get your gym wear and Golden Era apparel at the new Golden Era Tees shop, featuring designs from the Silver Era and Golden Era legends, available as tanks, shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies in all sizes and colors. To support your favorite YouTube channel, please visit teespring.com/stores/Golden Era Bookworm for merchandise including t-shirts, hoodies, face masks, phone cases, and much, much more. Once again at teespring.com/stores/Golden Era Bookworm. Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the Golden Era of bodybuilding.
I don't think that Bill Phillips looked at it as, I want to compete against them. I want to destroy them.
If they pass legislation basically making any type of food supplement a prescription item, that would be the end, the death of the entire food supplement industry.
Take your vitamin pill now.
In the 1960s, the sports supplement industry was barely emerging.
I think the reason why Joe Weider was so successful was he had Arnold on his side.
He wasn't selling supplements. He was in the dream business.
Joe Weider was a marketing genius.
People would say the promotions or the endorsements back then were cheesy. To me, it wasn't. I loved it.
Fitness was taking off. You know, fitness became cool. You had a lot of readers that wanted to be like the stars that they idolized.
Bill's strength is his marketing savvy. He's a marketing genius.
Got it. It's only vitamin.
The right of American citizens to have free access to dietary supplements of their choice.
Consult your physician. You might as well consult the next guy you meet on the street. They don't know a damn thing about vitamins and nutrition.
The dietary supplement industry became the #2 most regulated industry. Nuclear, dietary supplements, pharmaceutical. We're more regulated than drugs.
They come in and you need to allow the FDA. They have jurisdiction.
The enforcement is kind of the questionable side of it, and how do they really get a handle on this monster?
A lot of people tell me that the dietary supplement industry is completely unregulated. It's the wild, wild west out there. It's a free-for-all. That could not be further from the truth.
A dietary supplement is not allowed to have a side effect. I always say the pharmaceutical has to have a minimum of 100 side effects in order for it to be a drug.
And now, it's a $40 billion industry and growing.
That's the really interesting thing, is the cast of characters from the 80s, when it was kind of iffy, to now when it's a lot more legitimate.
They made it sound cutting edge, revolutionary, and different, and I want that. That's cool.
We are in this industry to improve our health. It's not just a vanity project here. We're working on our lifeline. We eat a certain way to improve our health. We train a certain way to improve our health. Supplements are just that. They supplement your work, your graft, your nutrition.
They demonize dietary supplements, but they say all you need is real food. Well, what's a real food?
They pump you up and get you hard, stronger, faster, bigger.
Doc, I want to take this weight gain. I want to take this pre-workout. Doctor's, no way. That stuff, we don't know what's in that. It could be, no way. I'm not going to give you, it's going to kill the industry, bottom line.
So I must have drank so much protein powder from age 15 to 18 that my head was going to explode.
I believed in metrics so much that I would probably punch somebody in the face if they tried to take it away from me.